Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Graybeards. My name is Wayne. And to my left over here, it's a good friend, Bug. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Waynsky. What's happening? Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been, I could go, we could have a whole show on my trip to Las Vegas. Is that
What was
still
funny was
considered?
Kyle's synopsis of your trip.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a trying deal. I'll tell you what, and it was the travel mostly, right? People there were pretty good. Um,
Hmm.
and being wintertime, the homeless isn't as bad. They're out there, but they were hunkered down in shelters or wherever they're staying.
Folks are probably curious as to where you went, why you went, and what happened.
Yeah, so if everyone knows, last couple of years, my company has sent me to the SHOT Show, which is held annually in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's put on by the NSSF, uh,
Hmm.
National Shot Show Foundation. I don't know.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's huge. I forget. I had some statistics I looked up about it, but I guess there was like it brings in millions of dollars to Las Vegas every year. I mean, when we were there, we had the SHOT Show, the concrete convention. I know
Hmm.
concrete, you know,
Hmm.
and the adult video awards was going
Okay.
on about the same time. You
Hmm.
know, typical, but it was a
Yeah.
good time. It's always nice to these old bones as like it is tough. I mean, we were walking a lot of miles every day going through. There's like
Hmm.
13.9 miles supposedly of aisles that you can walk, excuse me,
Yeah.
walk up and down. But yeah,
Hmm.
it took
And
us
they have a
three
lot of
days.
technology and stuff out there that you guys are
Yes.
taking a look at
Hmm.
to better ours.
Yeah, we were looking for innovation stuff for the our customer through the that we are employed by.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's
But
up.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
all right. I'm still
A lot
getting
of cool
pardon this.
stuff.
I'm still getting the sleep out of my even though I've been up for 2 hours, but
Hmm.
wandering on. I'm on my third cup of coffee already.
So you
But
guys
yeah, it
went
was
out there, shopped until you dropped.
yeah, it was like every day is a was a you get it. We'd start early and just walk. What about
Hmm.
10,000 steps every day? Sometime. And old KB did twice one day. Yeah, I think he said like 19,000 steps he did one day.
I don't know. It sounded like you was hesitant to give him credit. You said he was swinging his arm real fast. So it's kind
Well,
of doubling on steps.
so I have what's called an idiot phone, right? Because I'm
Right.
an idiot.
Got it.
And he had something on his wrist
Mm-hmm.
called a Fitbit, I think what it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And these are his words. It's an older Fitbit, but he had his on his wrist. And then if you don't know on the phone, it'll track how many supposed steps that you do and flights of stairs. And that's what I was using. And some days we were close, but there was a lot of times he was recording like 1,000 more steps than I was in a day
Mm-hmm.
or more. And though
Mm-hmm.
we walked side by side for most of the show and time, um, but he went on some other. He wanted to go and see some. Um, the hotel we stayed at, they didn't play his Kentucky basketball game, so he went to a sports bar that was like a mile and a half from where we stayed, and he walked there and walked back. So, or
Yeah.
no, he just walked back that day. Well, he
Right.
walked there from the show and then walked back. I think that's how it went.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you got some extra steps then.
Hmm. He got a lot of
Got
extra
it.
steps. But then
So
again,
what was the
so the drama for us was getting back, right? Winter
Mhm.
Storm Fern of 2026 had just hit Dallas to all the way to the East Coast, right? Shut down
Yeah.
all these airports for ice or whatever. So we ended up took us 3 days to get back.
Right.
We were supposed to be back on Saturday, ended up getting back on Monday night, like at
Gotcha.
9 o'clock at night, something like that.
Yeah. Kyle called me at dark 30. Him
Yeah.
said that. Yeah. Yeah. So what was the
Yeah.
problem? I mean, what caused you guys
Well, they
to be
kept,
delayed?
well,
That
so we fly into Charlotte and then from Charlotte to Columbia.
right.
Well, the first day, both of us were supposed to fly into Dallas, and that was shut down early. Dallas got hit real hard. One for
Mhm.
being, having the Cowgirls as a football team, and two from the winter storm.
Right.
So our first flight got canceled and rebooked and canceled that one because Charlotte closed. And they finally got us out Saturday evening and flew us to San Francisco.
Mhm.
Got
Mhm.
there,
We're
got
going the
there.
wrong way, but okay.
Yeah. And that was one of the dilemmas, but I don't want to talk too much about it, take up all our time for the
I got
for
you.
the for the show. Well, I got another minute. So long story short, we went to San Francisco, flew out of San Francisco. About 2 hours into the flight, the pilot come over the intercom and said, "Hey, Charlotte's closed. They won't let us land. We're turning around and going back." What?
Wow.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
left San Francisco, flew for 2.5 hours, whatever it was. I don't remember. I was pretty
Yeah.
dog tired, and then turned
Yeah.
around 2.5 hours back to San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah, I know that was frustrating, man, trying to get back. But
Yeah.
since you go ahead, go ahead.
So then we're there, we get there in San Francisco. It's early morning, San Francisco time, right? I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning. It's some crazy early morning. And you can't check into the hotel until 3. So there we are in the
Mm,
hotel lobby waiting for a room. And they were like, we can't get you out till the next day, Monday morning.
mm, yeah.
So we spent the whole day in San Francisco waiting for a plane.
Right.
Basically 24 hours by the time we flew out of there.
Mm. Back in the day, airlines would give you some type of compensation for your inconvenience. I guess those days are long gone. And being that you was talking about all this flying that you was doing, I just saw a news clip yesterday that they're charging. This has nothing to do with airlines, I don't think. But they're charging an extra 400, no, $45, excuse me. If you don't have your real ID, that's cause this is kind of preface what we're gonna go into. If you don't have your real ID, you gotta pay a $45 fine if you want to fly. Have you heard that?
No.
Yeah, that's just something that just popped up. If you don't have a real ID, your driver's license with the star on it, you
Well,
gotta
it
pay
don't
that
have to
fee.
be a driver's license. It just has to be a state issued identification
Right.
or your passport.
Or your passport. Now, see, that's the part. You had a bunch of folks out there complaining. They were like, well, we got our passports. This should work. And they're right, but
Hmm.
whoever was reporting on that didn't confirm or deny
Hmm. You can,
what the
because not
complainant was
everybody,
saying.
not everybody's going to have a driver's or real ID driver's license, right? So, like, if you
Right.
go, I can go to, if I flew overseas, they're not going to. I can show my driver's license all day long. They'd be like, "What Cracker Jack box did you get that out of?"
They don't care. Yeah.
Yeah,
They want to see a passport,
they
you
want to
know?
see a passport, right?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So
But,
so for those out there, just know that your passport should suffice. Should get you out of paying an extra $45 per flight,
well, I
if
mean,
you don't have your real ID.
well, again, it comes back to we could get a. I don't remember ever. I've always had to show an ID when I flew because they wanted to make sure I was who I said I was.
Exactly.
But that was on the
Makes sense.
airline, right? It was on the airline to make that, you know, You know, and I just show it to them, and it's not like they're scanning it in like they do at the TSA, right? And now I show them my ID, and then they take a picture of you,
Yeah,
and then you know
yeah.
you're in this huge database, right? Sort of like what we
Hmm.
use at where we work for getting on
Yeah,
base, right?
right.
Or get
So
military.
the real ID, Wayne, how long that's been out? How long has that been a thing? Can you recall?
Well,
Has it
I've
been
had
out
one.
for?
I've had one for like 5 years. So
Okay. So it's a relatively recent
yeah,
occurrence. Any idea why they wanted this real ID? Why what's the push for the real ID?
well, I think it's all about this. You know, we can go into the immigration issue that this country has right
Yeah,
now.
kind
You
of a
have
good segue
it is a
into
good
that.
segue. We were talking earlier. We always talk. If you guys don't know, if those new to the show, we always Bug and I always talk on the phone before we start the show because we don't have no script. It's just him
Mhm.
and I, you know, sharing our perspective, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, there's no legal basis for accuracy. We're just going what we're seeing on
Hmm.
various news channels, whatever it is, CNN,
Hmm.
MSNBC,
Yeah.
Fox News, whatever. P.
And we depended on our listening audience to get us straight,
Mhm.
with
Yeah, and if
more.
you have a different perspective, we'd love to hear it.
Mhm.
I This country was built on immigration. I think it's um, important to have good immigration policy. I think it's too I think it's too hard to become a citizen. I never had to. I was born here, so I got I didn't have to take the test. I didn't have to study for a test. I didn't need to know who signed the Declaration of Independence or what have you, right? Um, we used to have to recite the Pledge of Allegiance in school every morning. So we knew that, right? And I think that the government should look, all these people that are here illegally, right? It's not my words. That's what everybody called them. They're here illegal. They entered this country illegally. They didn't follow the legal process to get to be a U.S. citizen.
Hmm.
And what I think, and I understand why a lot of people are upset. Just because they came here illegally, we shouldn't be just taking them out of wherever they're living and sending them back where they came from. I think personally, you should have to demonstrate your willingness to become a U.S. citizen, adopt to U.S. policies. I don't have a problem with you, being, I'm proud to be from another country, but I'm an American now, right?
Let me ask you this, Wayne. Let me throw this out here. Okay, let's just throw a number out there. You just taken on 10 million
Yeah.
illegal immigrants, right?
Well, yeah.
That's gonna drain you. That's gonna put a strain on your economy. Wherever these bad boys decide to take up residence, it's gonna put a strain on the economy because they're gonna be entitled to some benefits, because they're citizens.
No.
If we, I mean, they're not citizens now, but what I'm saying
Well,
is, if
that's
we
a
say, okay, yeah,
well, I can understand that point, but they should not be receiving benefits for citizens. They don't pay the tax. They shouldn't be getting Social Security benefits. They shouldn't be getting welfare or Medicare. No, they're not U.S.
yeah,
That's a program, in my opinion, for
mhm.
U.S. citizens, not for people that are not citizens of this country.
I'm tracking. But going back to what you don't
But
feel like they should be deported, or do you feel they should be deported?
no,
What do
I
you
don't.
feel?
I don't think they need to. You should be able to. This is where I feel that they came in illegally, right?
Right.
You're talking millions, like you said. We don't really even know the number
We don't know. I
exactly.
just threw a number out there,
Right.
10 million.
They should be able to identify themselves to the U.S. government, um, immigration people, and say, "Hey, I came here illegally. How do I get to be I want to be a citizen, right? I can't. I don't want to. I can't go back, right? I can't. I want to stay here. I want to be an American." give them temporary status, not to you. All right, I'll give you 6 months to meet the immigration requirements, right? Whatever they are. I'm unfortunately, I apologize. I don't know what they are all. I know there's a test, and I know that you have to swear allegiance and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're a criminal, have their day in court, right? To make if they don't qualify to be a U.S. citizens because they stole, I don't know, whatever, a car, whatever, right? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, now
Do
how do we support these individuals in that 6 month?
why do we
Just
why do you feel we have to support them?
because you're giving them a path to citizenship, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're putting it on the table saying, hey, well, you want to stay here? Everybody think it's cruel and barbaric to send you back to where you came from. This is the right saying, look, we're not cruel and
we're
unusual type
the
individuals.
but U.S. citizens, we're taxpayers. I don't feel my tax dollar. I have an obligation to people that come here illegally to support them, even if they're here. I don't feel I should have to. If you're not a U.S. citizen, if you're here on a visa to work or what have you, that should not entitle you to benefits like someone that's
I'm
a
tracking.
citizen.
But if
If
we
you
take
go
on that
to any other
responsibility,
country, you go to any other country, you're not getting on their welfare program if you're not a citizen of that
you're
country,
getting deported a shot. That's what's going to happen in
or you're going
other
to go to
countries
jail. And I
or
got that.
jail. There's that.
We're not other countries. I got that, right? Everybody
Mhm.
gets that. We're the United States. Everybody wants to be here, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be like the US. We have the coolest stuff in the world. For a country that's been here for like 250 years, we're killing it, man. I mean, that's it. We're setting the standards for people to aspire to. And there's probably more that hate that, right? Than that like that. There's more people in other countries that are going, screw them Americans. That
Yeah.
was my attempt at some kind of accent.
You sounded European.
Mhm. You know what I mean? And that's because in this country we have lost the ability, we've lost our proud to be an American, right? I'm still proud to be American. We have saved more lives
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
ended more, suffering for millions with our tax dollars. It ain't free money. And people need
True.
to stop treating it. It's not my money. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And listen to what you were saying, and I kind of agree with it to a certain extent, right? I want you to think I did. But I'm saying if we take certain actions, there's certain repercussions that's going to follow, right? If we decide if let's just say the right seems to be the ones more up in arms about these illegal immigrants than the left. The left is like, come on, come on, come on. So the right's like, no, 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 we can't afford this. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna change America. America. We're letting too many people in. It's not. We want to evolve as a country, but slowly. But if you
Mhm.
let 30 million mugs come in here, you're gonna change rapidly. You're gonna really have some fascists. You're really gonna have some folks that think differently than we think. And they're gonna be able to change the government. So that's why you can't let millions of folks come over here because they're going to change the way we do business over here. They can potentially do it. Like in New York, you got a guy up there saying, I'm only going to tax white people. You know what I'm saying? So now me as a black guy, I should be, I guess, happy about that. But no, we know
If
that's
you're a
not right. You
racist,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
If you're
Yeah,
a
if I'm a
racist,
racist, I would be like,
yeah.
yeah, get those dudes. But I'm not. That's not fair. So, but you got this dude that's been voted into office that's like, yo, I'm only going to tax certain people and I'm going to take money from certain people. That's wrong. But anyway,
Mhm.
if we're going to give these guys a path to citizenship, as you kind of suggested, which I kind of agree with that. That because that shows the right does have a heart, the right trying to do the right thing, but it's going to cost to do that. It's going to cost money to do this. To try to correct this problem. If
Those
you're going to
things
say,
are
if we're
those
going to
are
say as a
already
nation,
in all that. Those programs are already in place to help them. They're already those people have been getting government assistance since day one. They've been staying in hotels. They've been getting food. Shelter
yeah.
and food. Right.
hmm hmm And then there's what we spoke about earlier on another show, the potential for fraud, because no one is really accounting for what's really going on. I mean, it's you. Some people that shouldn't be benefiting are benefiting from this stuff, and the immigrants are probably holding the bag. All that money,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe, is going to the immigrants. I think there's some Americans stuff in their pockets with money that
And
should
yeah.
be
Oh,
helping
absolutely.
these
Absolutely, they
individuals.
are. There's so many
Yeah.
organizations out there that have just gotten rich over. We're helping. USAID, right? We got shut down,
hmm
right? Just throwing money out for stuff that I don't even gonna. I'm not even gonna talk about the programs and where they were sending our tax dollars to these other countries,
hmm
for millions of dollars.
That's
I
why
don't know
we're in
about you,
debt.
but millions or billions of dollars is a hell of a lot of money to this poor guy.
It is. It's a lot of money. I agree with you, and it's been misappropriated. So
Hmm.
yeah, we gotta definitely stop the bleeding for sure. You know,
Yeah.
um, we before the show started, we're gonna kind of segue into Americans losing their lives trying to defend illegal immigrants. At least that's
Hmm.
what they think they're doing. You know,
Well, that's
um,
and I have no problem with people that want to protest, go out there and tell them this is how I feel, right? I don't like this, but don't go out there and interfere with the law, change the law, right? Advocate to your government to change the law, right? And I'm going to say I agree with them to a certain extent on some things about. I don't want. I've said this before, right? I don't want the federal government telling me in my state what they can and can't do. It's the way it is, right? Um, the but in federal law trumps state law. I got that. Trump, 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 Trump. You know what I'm saying? I get that. There's certain federal statutes that, I'm not a law professor to speak on it, intelligently, but we're a sovereign state. We're 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 a republic, not a democracy, right?
right?
And it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. And what's funny is you can go back. There's some stuff that goes back way back with Ellis Island. I don't know if you're familiar with Ellis Island or not.
No, no. Go ahead, don't.
So Ellis Island is in New York, is where everybody would come to that wanted to be an American. You had to come into Ellis Island.
hmm Okay. It's
And
coming
there was
back.
times it's documented where people would come here, they were pregnant, and they wouldn't let them come into the country
hmm
because they did what's called an anchor baby, right? Been
Yeah.
going on for decades, probably hundreds of years. They come here, they get an anchor baby. My child was born here, so U.S. citizen, right?
hmm
And
hmm
I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or different. That's just the way our laws are, right? You're born here, you
hmm
become a citizen. You're
hmm
born here. You have a birth certificate stating you were born here. There
hmm
are exceptions to that rule, like military and government people that live abroad, but they're U.S. citizens. They get an exception if they have children.
hmm
Because you and I know people that had children that were born, say, in Germany or England or Italy or wherever.
Right.
They're actually U.S. citizens, even though their birth certificate comes from another country.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't have a problem with that. But I do have a problem if you come here pregnant and have a child and that's your anchor into the, doesn't mean you still aren't or obligated to become a U.S. citizen. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
on to the next subject. Well, I'm going to make this, and leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Be nice. If you're angry, upset, and name calling, I will delete you. I've already deleted people for that. I'm not going to tolerate it. I won't tolerate it. I'll reply. You can have a difference of opinion. That's not being mean, right?
Yeah. You don't have to be mean to enlighten us,
Yeah,
to your truth or what you know, and we'll evaluate what you know.
yeah,
And if we're wrong, we'll say we're wrong.
yeah,
And what we thought. If we got more information to add, do it.
yeah.
Don't.
And I just want to put that. I want to see your comments. I want to hear from you. Like, if you don't like what I say, you can dislike too. I don't. It doesn't. I don't do. We don't do this for the money because there is no money in this, right? For
No,
us,
no.
we do this just to get another voice out there for people.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
what us old farts have to think.
Right.
And we have a unique perspective, right? We grew up in a certain area, but I haven't lived where I grew up in 43 years, right? I, I have worked with a melting pot of people from all over the world. So I have a unique perspective that some people
Hmm.
don't ever get, right?
Hmm.
They never leave they never leave their little community wherever they grew up. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but just it tends to um, overshadow a different perspective. And I get that. But anyways, I want to talk about why Minneapolis, right? Why Minnesota? Um, it seems to be the attention grabber. And Bug, you had a very good um, observation, if you will, of why there's a focus on Minneapolis when it comes
Hmm.
to the immigration people being taken to
Yeah, why
shipped
those
out.
cities being targeted? It seems like, and
Mm-hmm,
I mean, surface. That's where they. These were sanctuary cities. You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm,
you're naturally you're naturally going to go there to try to find illegal immigrants because
mm-hmm.
these are the cities that welcome them. Now you guys can correct me out on this. This is just me doing my little math. You welcome these individuals into your country or city, I mean your state or city, and then you calling on the government to send you money to support these individuals that affect states that were like, no, we're not gonna support this. We're gonna stand by the existing laws of this land,
Yeah,
which has a path to citizenship, immigration policy, and you're gonna make those that are abiding by the rules pay for your breaking the rules, and that's causing some heartburn. So you guys are like, well, we're gonna invite all these mugs to stay here, and we're gonna take your money. We'll take your money to fund our doggone program.
that
So and people are upset about that. And now wherever you are, Wayne was saying something that it kind of enlightened me that hey, well maybe we should look at another option. Okay. But if we look, the other option is going to be expensive.
mm-hmm.
And there's probably still going to be some folks out there. The other option is giving these guys a path to citizenship, right? Give them 6 months to become a citizen. It's going to cost money to do that. But he also enlightened me to, well, we already got program. We're already doing it. So just put a deadline on it. If we're already doing it, then put a hardcore deadline on this thing. All right, I should grab us can chill out until 6 months. Now, after 6 months, we're gonna be out here hunting. We're gonna be and hunt. I know that's a flag word for some people. We're gonna be looking for people that have not complied with the
Yeah.
standards. Okay, I don't
Well,
say it the right way. I use
yeah,
a term. that's what they call inflammatory. I don't want to use this kind of word, but we're
Yeah,
going to look for illegals.
you make a very good. I didn't even think about this, right? If you want to be a sanctuary city, yeah, if you want to pay for it, go right ahead, but don't make me pay for your sanctuary city, right?
Yeah, that's
And
always that's all this
don't
being
be the
said.
feds will be like, "Yeah, it's on you, bud." Doesn't mean we're still not going to come looking for those illegal citizens.
Yeah,
You know.
because we got another side. We got a that's paying for this. As a system, you paying for this thing. They're out here screaming like this is money that could be coming to help mugs
Hmm. Yeah,
that live here. That's supposed to be living here,
yeah,
and you're seizing our money in an infinite manner, a never-ending thing. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's do 6 months. We're gonna turn ice off for 6 months. We're gonna give you mugs. That's here. 6 months to become citizens. And we're gonna give you all the tools that it
hmm
takes to do that, to comply. Now after that, we're turning it off. That's it. We're turning it off. We're gonna start enforcing the law.
yeah,
I'm just assuming 6 months is a reasonable amount of time, whatever the time limit is. And then you mugs that want to get out here and get in the way, you're going to be charged as obstructionists because we've tried to do the right thing, and you're just showing that you simply want anarchy. Period. You're not seeing that we're trying to help this thing. We're
hmm
trying to appease both sides, all three sides of this darn pie. You
yeah,
know, we're trying to help the illegal immigrant. We're trying to help the right. We're trying to help the left. We're trying to do fair and balanced. And you're still going against this thing, man. Hey, like God said, I'm flooding the earth, baby. You bad was I done try to reason with you mugs. You bad was just won't doggone hear. Take them out. It is what
yeah.
it is.
That's exactly right. Send them on. We got about 7 minutes. Um,
So I'm getting banned from the universe, but okay.
well,
But I think what I'm
you're
saying is
right, man.
reasonable.
And then uh, it's gonna work its way out. We got we'll see how the midterms go. If the left does a good job of getting, and I think that will recover some seats. If if we get say the Democrat Party manages to take control of the House and the Senate, you'll never get nothing done. It'll be a 3 years or 2 years, whatever it is, of nothing getting done. They
And
will
that's wrong.
they will try to impeach the president without a doubt because they have TDS, to the 10th power. And it's funny. I have some friends, and they're entitled to their opinion. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but they are just adamant that this person that's the current president, Donald
Right.
Trump, who is the president.
Hmm.
Um, there's so much stuff going on. It's just unbelievable. The fraud, especially some of the voting stuff that's coming out now in Georgia and other states. It's just
Hmm. Yeah.
people. We're in a sad state of affairs, man. What has happened, right? All these people were getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar, if you will. I have no sympathy for them. I could care less. Send them on their way to jail, right? Um, you can't, a citizen can't do what they've been doing. Then they need to pay the consequences.
When your
Just like,
house get out of order,
yeah,
and my house has been out of order, and most people's house has been out of order. And then when it gets out of order, you have to do a reset. You got to go back to the fundamentals to get your house back in order. You know,
mm-hmm,
I have to do the same thing as the captain of this ship around here. Things got haywire. Everybody was just doing what they wanted to do.
mm-hmm,
And so it's like, you know what? I got to stand up and put these hardcore laws down here and enforce them. And now everybody is happy. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Everybody's doing what but it started with me. You know what I'm saying? It starts with the leadership. In America, it starts with the government. You guys can't have just chaos going on, everybody doing what they want to do. No, you gotta have laws, you gotta have boundaries. you know. So I look at we got a president in office now that's like, hey, this is crazy. We're $40 trillion in debt. This out of control spending got to stop, and this crime or this this pandemonium has got to stop. And most of them mad, they're kicking back. Oh yeah, it's gonna be pushed back in my own house. If you, I can say this here, and I tell my kids this here. If you want to know what it's like to be God, have some children. If you want to know what it's like to be a president or a senator or a congressman that's trying to do the right thing, have some kids. How you govern your own house? Do you just let your kids do what they want to do? Well, Dad,
Most
I
people,
think I'll go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Dad, I spent all my money. Give me some more. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? You
yeah,
gotta you gotta have order, man. You can't just let mugs run rampant.
yep,
That's what our nation, that's what a family is built on, a society is built on, a world is built on. And you gotta have order. That's it.
that's a fact.
So, that's all I'm
That's a
saying.
fact. Well, we're down to 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and some
Yeah.
people, someone recently had to is going to feel the consequences of his actions. And I don't even like to bring up his name personally because I think you know he's just trying to make himself get out there, right? He got fired from his job at CNN,
Oh
and
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah,
Gotcha.
right.
Hmm.
He got arrested for you can't impede people's right to religion. Period. Dot. Period. So he got arrested, and they're all like, "Oh, Trump's going after this person." And everybody should know who I'm talking about. If you don't, his name is Don Lemon. I ain't got nothing personally against this guy, but him and I don't see things eye to eye. Um, but he messed up, man. That's all there is to it. He messed up thinking that he had some cover in what he was doing, you know. But
Yeah, I think
he
he's
was,
using his constituents, man, to raise money for himself. He
yeah,
don't really care about his followers, you
no.
know,
I mean, I heard
in my opinion.
he should have money. He was working for CNN, making like I don't have the exact
Yeah.
figures, but I think it was like $6 million he was getting a year.
Yeah, he probably was
Um,
spending that money like pancakes, you know.
well, they make that
And
big salary, think it's going to be forever, right? And
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. He seems,
Well,
but anyway,
He'll have his day in court, and
mhm. But to go to a church, and like I said, y'all correct me or us on this. It seemed like he went to a church. Hey, and the church usually have open doors for everybody. He goes in there and he exploits that right
mhm.
to go to church there. And he turned it into something else. Man, that sounds a whole lot like what we've been talking about months coming up. And changing what we got going
Well,
on to what they want it to be.
all right. Tell me what you guys think down below and what we had to say. Give me your perspective. We're out of time. Thanks for watching. Have a great week
Thanks.
and God bless.
Appreciate it. Hey, welcome back, Wayne. Same.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the comments, man. I'm
Yeah.
2026, trying to get better at
All right, man.
responding to these comments.
Yeah, I hear you. Take care, everyone.